to another Chris the Fish 03 video. In this one we're going to be doing something different. I'm going to go back to the old school videos. I'm going to do water changes and show you how I do them. Right, so as you can probably see, some of these tanks are starting to look a little bit grubby. You can see all the algae growing on the glass. Tanks are looking a bit mystified. Even on this tank you can see all the algae growing. So in this video I'm going to be cleaning all of the tanks down, giving the glass a good scrub down, giving the internal filters a good clean, some of which I'm going to be taking out as well, and then doing a big water change. And when you're doing things like this, it's always good to have some stress coat as well, because of all the messing around you're doing with the tanks. You don't want to be stressing the fish out, because then that can cause unnecessary deaths. So everyone has a different way, a different opinion of doing it, but obviously I'm going to show you the way that I do it. If you don't like it, that's fine, that's how I do it. But what I'll do is I'll start by draining a little bit of water out of each of the tanks, so then I can get in and scrub the glass down without it like splashing all outside of the tanks. And then once I've got all the glass nice and clean on the outside, I'll then get the gravel vac in. I'll also make sure I can get as much as I can of the rubbish out while I'm doing the water change. And also make sure that you've got a bucket you can fill with the tank water, so you can clean the internal filters in it as well. That way you will not lose the good bacteria that you've got in the filter. If you use tap water, that's it, you've killed your bacteria, crashed your cycle. Most likely it'll end up to losing your fish. But I'm going to show you now how I do it. So I'm going to do it on one tank, and then basically I'll come back at the end when I'm showing you what I've done with all of them and how I fill them all back in, or should I say fill them back up. Right, so just for the purpose of showing you what I do with every single one of my tanks, in this video I'm just going to be doing it on the Rena 400 because that's the most grubbiest of the lot. I'm going to turn the camera now and show you what I go through when I do my deep cleans once a month. I just want to say a massive thank you to everybody for the last video. It has blown all my personal records on my videos. It's like 50 odd views above my second place. I'm up to 416 subscribers so far. I want to try, hopefully, to get it to 500 before the second anniversary. This channel will be 2 years old in November. Can you help me hit that subscribe button and get to 500 before November? There's a challenge for everybody, and I'll note it in every one of my videos that I do following this. I want to get to that 500 before 2 years. I wanted to get to 200 before the first year, and I did it just in the nick of time. I think it was like on the day of the first anniversary we hit 200. For this one I want to hit 500, so that'll be 100 more than I got in the first year. So thank you very much everybody. Look at the size of this beautiful Vieja. I've got 3 of them. This is the biggest one, so we'll let him in now. And there's the second beauty, currently covered in the bloody pond plants. Right, so the 3 new fish we've got in here are Viejas, I think they call it. We've got one big one, which is just there. There's another one just popped out. The jag's trying to put his dominance on. And there's the third one. Beautiful colours on them. Look at the size of that one. Yeah, look, jag's trying to have a go. Even though Ollie turned around and says, yeah, that big one will put the jag in its place. I don't think so. Oh, look, there's that giant barb. He is huge. And he's gone. So you're going to have to excuse the lighting, but obviously you can see got all the algae that grows on the dividers, and you've got the algae that will grow on the lids, on the glass, and you'll get it at the back of the tank as well, probably some of the ornaments. The ornaments I'm not going to bother with, but in this video I'm going to clean all the dividers around the rim, the lids, and the filters. So keep watching and we'll show you. This is what I have to do once a month to clean all of my tanks. Okay, so one of the things we're going to be doing with this tank is this internal filter is now going to be coming out, getting cleaned. I've got a bucket full of water ready, so I'm going to get it all out and I'll show you what I have to do to make sure that it's nice and clean and fresh for this tank. Obviously I've got the 1400 APS external filter on here. Even though I've got that running at the best it can be, you can see I'm still getting all the algae. That's mainly because of the light and because of being opposite the door, even though I've got the door covered. But eventually I will be getting LED lights. You'll see, like on this tank, there's not as much on here because that has got an LED light on it. So one of the first things to remember is make sure you unplug the internal filter, because otherwise as you're getting it out you'll get absolutely soaked. Next part is we've got to take all the clips apart. This is the APS 1200 IF, so it's got all black coarse sponges inside, so I'm going to unclip it all because I can't do it all one-handed, and then we'll come back and show you what state the water's going to be in. Right, so I've got you hooked up to the tripod so you can see, but as soon as I take it off you can see all the muck, all the fish poo and what have you that's around the top. So you've got to make sure, look, that's the propeller. Oh, where are you? So that's the propeller, so we've got to take this apart, make sure it's all nice and clean so that it keeps working at its max. If it fills up with junk, then obviously it ain't gonna work. Now for jobs like this, I like to use an old toothbrush. Just make sure you can get any junk out. You can see the amount of rubbish that comes out that you can't get out with your finger. And once you've cleaned it, put it all back together. And now you're about to see the state of the sponges that's inside it as well. So I haven't cleaned this for about a month, and you can see how thickly clogged it all is. So again, give it a good scrub. Again, you're making sure that you're using your tank water so that it keeps all the good bacteria in your sponges or in your media. Straight away, I don't know about on the camera, but straight away you can see the difference that has made. Still got the odd few stringy bits, but that looks 100 times better. And obviously the water's gone all brown now. Also got to make sure you clean the case as well, otherwise you're just going to put it straight back into a dirty case. You're not going to get nice and clean in the shower and then get back into your dirty sweaty clothes. And then just like that, there's the internal filter done. So now I've got to put this back into the tank, plug it back in, but I'll plug it back in once I finish doing the actual tank. And what I'll do with all this dirty fish water after is I'll take it outside and I'll put it into my plants. Makes absolutely fantastic nutrients for the plants. Now that the filter's cleaned and back in, we've got to clean the glass and then start doing our water change. Alright, so now that I've siphoned a bit of that water out, I'll just use a basic washing up sponge, put it in, give the glass a good scrub down on the inside, and then I've got to make sure obviously I get all the algae as well from off the divider, the braces, which is why I do the water change last and I do this first. Now I'm going to show you just common sense. Obviously I've made the mistake before, but I don't know how well you can see these scratches. So when you are doing this, make sure you don't catch any gravel or any sand into your sponge, because then you're going to end up scratching your glass. Same if you end up using those magnet cleaners, which I use. Always make sure that you haven't got any debris in between them, because that will damage your glass. So obviously just make sure that you keep your glass safe, because then when you do get issues like this where you've got your algae growing, it'll all grow into the glass, into the scratches, sorry, and then makes them a lot more obvious as well. So yeah, this is the basic way to do it anyway. Right, so now all I've got to do is I've got to go through, gravel vac, everything I can, get as much out the water. Times like this I'll probably do about a 50% water change, just so that I can make sure I get all the rubbish out of the gravel as well. So where you've got like the poo, you got the floating debris, and make sure that you don't catch any fish as well, especially if you've got some young uns like these cribs. Okay, so now that I've managed to get it drained, I've took probably, I don't know, 25-30%. Obviously all this has been cleaned up here as well, the lid's been cleaned, all been siphoned out as much of the junk as I can. Don't want to stress the fish out too much obviously. So now I'm going to fill it back up. You can see I've got all the glass cleaned as well, by the way. So I'm going to fill it back up, add some dechlorinator and some stress coat, and then we'll see how much better it looks. Right, so now that I've got it filling up, obviously make sure if you're using a hose or something you aim at ornaments, so that way it doesn't disturb the substrate. Add a little bit of prime cetium, that's the dechlorinator, then add a bit of stress coat. Job done. Now we're just going to wait for it to fill up and then give it a wipe down once it's all put back together. Right, and here is the finished product. So you can see all the substrate has cleared up, all the fish are looking a lot better because I've left them to chill for a bit. That stress coat's obviously working out. All topped back up, the lids are cleaned, Lite's cleaned, the braces are cleaned, the tanks, just everything's basically cleaned, even the filter. So while I've done all that and I was waiting for it to settle, I've even done this tank. I'm leaving an internal on this side and I've took the other one out, so that's just the external. Over this side I've taken that internal out and I've put the one from the flower horn tank in there because it's a better one. We don't need two internals on there. Then in this one's looking a lot better as well. Definitely needed a clean, this one did. Oh look, for the first time ever, the black ghost knife's out. Since the first day I've had him, this is the first chance I've got footage on him. It's nice to see. So obviously I've replaced that filter as well. I'm leaving that it's got one filter in each. I've noticed as well with my sun catfish, one hides underneath the filter, one hides in here. That's where the black ghost knife lives, who's currently over in the corner under the filter having a look around. Still got all three dolphins and that as well. So yeah, all the tanks cleaned, internal, external. I've wiped all the glass down, done water changes on them all. Unfortunately I came home from work yesterday absolutely devastated that Sonic, my fireline mulatto, my favourite fish in this tank, was upside down here dead. I was absolutely gutted. Everything else is perfectly fine. Look at this grumpy git over here. They're all got beautiful colours on them. But as I say, I'm just disappointed my favourite ones died. Flower horns still growing very, very quickly, colouring up absolutely amazingly. You can still see some of the debris in here out of the airstone and stuff. Ain't you just stunning? And then down here, I haven't done a water change on this one yet. I'm going to get round to it. But we've had no losses of our new fish. You know, look, Mr. Jag sat here. Oh look, there's the new Vieja, if that's how you call it. The new green terror. They all love coming up and having a look at what's going on as soon as you come up here. I love how they just sit there watching you. But yeah, so for now we're finished. Everything's clean, everything's tidied, even the little tank for Neo and this little tank for the female betas. So yeah, so now I'm all hot, sticky, sweaty, knackered, but all the fish change but all the water changes are done. Everything's sorted, at least for another week anyway, so I've got to do it all again next week. But this has taken longer because this was my monthly one, and obviously even though you can still see I've got an internal and a heater in the 5 foot, I've unplugged them because I don't want to piss around taking the lid off. I'll show you why. All the wires go in underneath the hood at the back, so for now I've just unplugged them because I want to see how it copes without them, like with the temperature and the external. This has got the FX6, so I should hope it'll be okay. But rather than mess around taking the lid off, taking them out, if I just unplug them and I do need to put them back on, I can. It makes it a lot easier. If we look in here, we can see all the internal filters that I've taken out of tanks as well. Right, so one of my mates, Ryan, has asked me to give you all a shout and let you know. He's on Twitch, which apparently is like the gaming version of YouTube, and his account name is Unknown Pulse 6, I think it was. But either way, I'm going to leave a link in the description down below, so if you're into games and things like that, just go down below, check him out. I'm sure he'll be greatly appreciative of it. By the way, do you like the new hat? Got the beanie and I've got the baseball hat. Absolutely wicked, well loving it. So we're going to leave the video there. The last video, I must say, absolutely blew it out the water, and I am so chuffed. Thank you all very, very much. If you're not already, make sure you hit that big subscribe button down below, and as usual, like, subscribe, hit the bell, and I'll catch you in the next video. Bye bye.